Meanwhile, Rudy Giuliani has filed for bankruptcy just days after being ordered to pay $148 million in damages for defaming two Georgia poll workers. Now, Giuliani, who was known as America's mayor for his leadership of New York after the September 11, 2001 attacks, faces a crush of debts stemming from his work as a lawyer on Trump's behalf. He also faces criminal charges in Georgia. Giuliani listed assets of between $1 million and $10 million and liabilities of between $100 million and $500 million. A spokesperson for Giuliani, who no longer works as Trump's lawyer, said the bankruptcy filing will give him time to appeal the $148 million penalty. The spokesperson added that the filing would ensure that other creditors are treated fairly. U.S. bankruptcy proceedings can enable people and companies to wipe away or reorganize their debts. Giuliani's filing will pause all of the pending civil lawsuits against him. However, it may not allow him to duck the money he owes the election workers. Judges have ruled that defamation penalties cannot be discharged if a debtor has engaged in willful and malicious conduct.
Right there isn't much I can say. The trial is going on. You heard one side. Stay tuned for my testimony. It'll be under oath. Like Russian collusion, like being accused of being a Russian pawn by President Biden.
Two former election workers, Wandrea Shamos and her mother, Ruby Freeman, faced threats after Giuliani falsely claimed they were engaged in voting fraud. Giuliani has repeated those claims following the December 15th verdict, even though he admitted they were defamatory, prompting the two workers to file a second lawsuit. A federal judge ruled Giuliani must immediately begin paying the two women, concluding there was a risk he may attempt to conceal his assets. A lawyer for the two women said bankruptcy would not discharge his debt to them. Giuliani was named Time magazine's Person of the Year following the 2001 attacks. He mounted an unsuccessful bid for the 2008 Republican presidential nomination. As Trump's personal lawyer, he led efforts to keep Trump in the White House following his 2020 defeat. He filed unsuccessful lawsuits to challenge the results and falsely claimed in public testimony that he had evidence proving election fraud. His seat-of-the-pants effort often drew ridicule. He scheduled a press conference at a Four Seasons in Philadelphia that turned out to be a landscaping company, not a luxury hotel. At another news conference, a dark substance, possibly hair dye, dripped down his face. He called for trial by combat at a rally for Trump supporters on January 6 of 2021, shortly before thousands of them attacked the U.S. Capitol in an effort to prevent the Congress from certifying Trump's defeat. Now, Giuliani faces criminal charges of election subversion in Georgia, along with Trump and more than a dozen other co-defendants. He has pleaded not guilty. His law license has been suspended in New York and he faces disbarment in Washington. Giuliani listed President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, and a former employee, Noel Dunphy, as creditors on the bankruptcy filing. Now, Hunter Biden has sued Giuliani for violating his privacy over data allegedly taken from his laptop. Dunphy also sued him for sexual assault, harassment and wage theft. Giuliani has denied the allegations. Dunphy's lawyer said they would not be deterred from pursuing the case. Now, other creditors include Smartmatic and an employee of Dominion Voting Systems. He faces lawsuits for claiming both voting machine companies flipped votes from Trump to Biden in the 2020 elections. Giuliani also said he owed nearly $1 million to the U.S. and New York state governments and nearly $2 million in legal fees. The two law firms that formerly represented him have sued for unpaid bills. Trump, meanwhile, fears more courts and election officials will follow Colorado's lead and exclude him from must-win states. Well, for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Listen in.
The bankruptcy filing comes as former New York mayor and the lawyer of former President Donald Trump is drowning in debt due to multiple legal cases, most notably that $148 million he's been ordered to pay for defaming two Georgia election workers. Court filings show that he owes upwards of 49 creditors. A spokesman for Rudy Giuliani said that this bankruptcy claim shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, considering the fact that it's very difficult to think Rudy Giuliani could pay such high fines and penalties. Filing bankruptcy will give Giuliani an opportunity to appeal and also make his finances transparent in the presence of a bankruptcy court. However, the appeal or the bankruptcy, for that matter, will not put him off the hook, basically, for paying that $148 million to those two Georgia election workers. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World as well.